Salutations, tubers. Welcome back to the Lair Room for this, the first of my holiday 2025 episodes. We're going to be calling this one Double Trouble. Mainly, as you can see, we've got two very scarlet locomotives and some scarlet coaches here on the layout. This will be about the new Battery O line from Lionel. It's kind of a new thing they've come out with this year, where they're having O-gauge trains, but instead of running on the 3-rail track pickup, they run on battery power. I guess the main reason they're doing this is try to make it a little bit more affordable. They're a bit more affordable than the standard Lion Chief sets that you can get new. Like most of them are going for like $400 now. This particular one, it was advertised in the 2025 catalog for $150, but due to tariff shenanigans, it came in at $175. I pre-ordered this particular set mainly out of curiosity. I mean, I don't really need another Hogwarts Express, but I figured if got done fooling around with it, I might take the engine and redo it to look like a prototypical Great Western Hall. But for the time being, we've got two Scarlet engines and two sets of Scarlet coaches. A main reason I have them both on the layout, we're going to do a little bit of a comparison. So I guess without further ado, we'll start here at the engine. As you can see, this represents the Hollywood version of the Alton Hall 5972, dressed up as Hogwarts Castle. Pretty close to the older conventional version in the back row there. Main difference that instead of being mostly all metal like this one is, virtually everything on this thing is plastic. I mean, the moldings are almost identical. The main difference is instead of a metal coupling, we've got these little fake knuckle couplers, non-operating couplers. About the only thing metal that I could find on this particular engine would be the drive rods. In fact, they actually have a little warning in the cab that says, oh, don't put your fingers in there, you'll get pinched. But so far as features go, this is mostly in line with some of the newer Hogwarts Express sets I've seen that have the Lion Chief system in them. It's got all the sounds, and the headlight lights up. But kind of unique for Battery O is up here we've got the water-driven smoke unit. It's got a little vaporizer in there, and that's one of the reasons this little hump is here. This is actually the fill plug for the water chamber. So a real Great Western Hall doesn't have a dome up here on the taper boiler, so you take a few knocks against realism for that. But I guess in my little headcanon, this particular hall has got a superheater, a new kind of superheater, and it needed a new steam dome, so that's what we're going to call it. Other major difference, besides most things being plastic, Warner Brothers, I guess, insisted that everything, everywhere on this set where it says Hogwarts, you see a trademark symbol, which, funnily enough, you don't see on the other engine, so that's a mark against it. I mean, we know Warner Brothers owns Harry Potter, but we don't literally need to see it everywhere on the engine. I mean, it's up here on the headboard, it's back here on the nameplate, it's back here on the tender. Big trademark symbol. I mean, come on. I mean, you could settle. Let's see. Here it is. Here on the bottom, they got a trademark. I mean, this is just corporate gone wild. But anyway. So far as another major difference when it comes to the drivetrain, it's only really the rear driver here that actually rides on the rail. You'll notice the first two drivers in the set are blind. So when it sits here on the track, the actual front end of the engine is sitting on the lead truck. So it's a little, I guess it's so it'll go around tight turns. And there's a little bit more about that I want to talk about here in a minute. But yeah, so the actual, this has got traction tires on here, and it sits on the front drive, on the pony truck. So kind of a thing from me. And then we go back to the tender. Again, it's pretty well, only metal thing on here is the axles and the screws. Everything else is just plastic fantastic. And I mean, I don't want to sit and harp on this. This is kind of the theme. I guess this is how they managed to get the set in at the price they did. But the only real downside, I mean, of having plastic is that it's so light. And that's kind of one of the problems I have with the set, which we'll get to in a minute. But I guess it makes it really tough as compared to something, and it's a little less prone to break stuff. I mean, this thing's already taken a couple of tumbles, and it's fine, not even a scratch on it. But anyway, moving on. Back from the engine, we've got the cars. Now, one thing I like about these is, besides the fact that the tooling is virtually identical to the track power version back here, except for the dummy couplers and having plastic wheels, another thing I really like that Lionel really did is it's lit. Every coach in the set is lit, just like the track power one. The only difference is that instead of a pickup shoe up down here on the trucks, you've got the battery compartment. So this takes AAAs, 2 AAAs each. And while we're on the subject of batteries, the engine takes 4 AA's. And if you're going to use the remote that comes with it, I'm just going to be using my universal, but 3 AAA's here. I would highly suggest that you use rechargeable batteries for this set, because what little playing around I've managed to do to it, it tends to be a bit of a battery hog. It's one of my downsides of this particular set. I mean, it'll run for maybe 20-30 minutes. And it may have something to do with this track layout. This is an 027 layout, so the turns are a bit tighter than what it was designed to take. So that might have something to do with it. But, and the smoke unit and all the sounds have probably got something to do with it. But battery capacity is kind of light on this. So I would highly suggest, if you're going to be playing with this, buy a couple sets of AA's and AAA rechargeables, and have one set on the charge and one set in the engine, because it's eventually going to go low bat, and eventually it's going to stop. So, I mean, if it was me, we could have maybe put a few more batteries in to maybe get a little bit more range, but again, cost might have had something to do with that. So, I guess without further ado, before we start running this thing, get to the other downsides I don't like about the set. Because this engine is so light, it has trouble going around 027 curves and switches. This thing is so light, it will actually topple. It'll roll over. On that one I've got on the back left curve over there, you got to take it at a crawl. Otherwise, the engine will just flip off the track and lean on its side, and then you got to go fetch it. So I'm hoping to remedy that by adding a bit of weight. I'm going to see about getting some weights off eBay and taking the engine apart and putting some weight here in the middle and here in the back. So it might cost me a little bit in the range department, but I'm hoping it will be a little better in the stability. Ditto with the coaches. This back coach 99719, it has a tendency to want to come off for no apparent reason. I think it just needs a little bit of weight, so maybe put a ½ ounce on each end, and we'll see how that goes. So I guess without further ado, we'll get this thing fired up, get the coaches coupled up, and we'll do a couple laps, and I guess we'll wrap this little review up, shall we? And I'll give you my final thoughts on the set. As for turning it on, if you put it to the on position, it will actually run by itself without the remote, so it'll randomly play sounds. I kind of found that out by accident. I flicked it on, it took off, and I wasn't expecting it, so something to bear in mind. So for our operation, if you're going to operate with the Lion Chief app or the universal remote, you put it into Bluetooth, and it'll start chirping. So we'll turn on our universal. There we go. That's one of the things I like. Nice, crisp steam smoke effect without any smell. That's kind of a big bonus around here. But anyway, you've got all the sounds.
Now, you've trained these 10 minutes. There's your ticket. Stick to it, Harry. That's very important. Stick to your ticket.
But Hagrid, there must be a mistake. This is platform 9 3/4. There's no such thing, is there?
Another thing I'm not such a fan of is that it's a little bit slow as compared to the track power version, which, I mean, it's not going to be a speed demon to save the battery, and I guess not for little kids to get hurt with it, but it could go a little faster. And the sounds are a little quiet. This is max volume. Creep around that dangerous corner. But still not bad, not too shabby. That's max speed. Slow it down.
I'm on, by the way. Go Weasley. I'm Harry Potter. Anything off the trolley, dears? We'll take the lot.
So basically the same sound set as in the Lion Chief version, which is kind of a nice bonus if you like all the sounds. So there we have it. In conclusion, I think this would be a great set for a beginner, like a little kid, because it actually comes with a whole array of plastic track that makes a pretty decent layout with several turnouts and a figure eight. I mean, it's pretty neat. I mean, I obviously don't have need of that because we've got a pre-built layout, but it'd be a pretty good little set for a beginner. And I guess maybe if, well, this is kind of where I hit my reservations here. If you have an established layout, I think you could do a little bit better for the money. For almost $200, you could probably find a Lion Chief one or just a Lion Chief locomotive, and you get a little bit better quality when it comes to, instead of being plastic fantastic, things would, at least the engines tend to be made of metal. So, and none of the stability problem stuff. But I mean, what can I say? I can't really fault it. It's been a decent little set. I'm thinking with the modifications I want to do to it, it might make it a little better. So yeah, there's my final thoughts on that. So I guess in conclusion, hope you enjoyed this little review and keep them rolling, folks. See you next time.